So Sony just pulled a complete 180 and is actually keeping open the servers for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. PSP is still shutting down though. Let's talk about it. Alrighty guys, share my screen. I have an article pulled up here. This is buzzing all over the gaming community right now. There's a ton of articles. They all released probably within 20 minutes of each other. One from Polygon, one from Press Square, one from The Verge. So I just picked one at random as they're all covering the exact information and had the actual same statement from the CEO, Jim Ryan, who I'm not a tremendous fan of. I'm not a fan of the way he's running the company, and I'm not a fan of the direction that he's taking Sony and the PlayStation platform. But I guess he did a vision quest out in the desert. He was probably popping a bunch of peyote buttons and whatnot, mixing different species or strains of shrooms and whatnot, and he was able to get a vision. When he came to, out of this vision quest, his pupils came back to a normal size and whatnot, he decided to make a public statement, and he said, "We were going to shut down the servers. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today, I'm happy to say that we'll be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita. PSP commerce functionality, so access to the digital store if you want to download DLC, download new digital games, or even get patches and updates for the existing games that you do own. Those servers will be running cold or turned off July 2nd, 2021, so in a couple months here, as planned." And this is from Jim Ryan. But all jokes aside, in reality here, what happened was Sony was listening to the voices of the community. Not just one person, not just 200 people, but thousands and thousands of gamers, saying that it's pretty disgusting that a platform that was built on these historical games from the PlayStation 1 in 1994 all the way to some very amazing exclusive first and third party PlayStation exclusives, primarily first party studios. It was almost like they were completely turning their back on what the fans wanted and strictly focusing on AAA blockbusters that would have a high Metascore critic, Metacritic score. What the hell? Why am I having a Metacritic score? Anyway, they would do great in the box office, so to speak, and that is all they cared about. They didn't care about historical game preservation. They didn't care about having features and functionality that is offered on the Microsoft and Nintendo platforms. They were literally focused on sales numbers and for specific large titles. Now, it was clear to Jim Ryan that this is the wrong decision, and I don't think he really cares, to be honest. I've never once in any interview, in any statement, in any article, in any publication, have I ever got the notion or the feeling in my gamer bones that Jim Ryan actually cares about gaming as a whole or his platform. He's literally like the opposite of Phil Spencer with Microsoft. Like, he just is so out of touch, so disconnected. Like, he's completely Control-Alt-Delete shut down from actually caring. Which I'm sure his lady friends probably don't appreciate either, because he's very desensitized, if you know what I mean, ladies. A lot of thumping with no pumping, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, old Jimmy Boy Ryan might have turned a new leaf here. A new banana leaf that he's wiped his tuchus with because it was dirty back there. And, it seems like he's trying to clean up a little bit. But to me, it seems like damage control. Like, literally, they heard the dissatisfaction of the community, and they're backpedaling a little bit. Which, here's how I view it. I don't really care how this is coming about, the fact that they are leaving the PlayStation 3 and Vita servers on. I just care about the fact that they are staying on. So I don't care if Jim Ryan really cares or not. That sounds so weird. I don't care if you don't care, but as long as you're leaving these servers on, because, like we covered, there's a major CMOS battery issue with the PlayStation 3 and PS4. Digital games get locked out on the PS3. Digital and physical games get locked out on the PS4 when the CMOS battery fails or is removed. And if it's replaced and there's no server to sync to for a lot of people that own the PlayStation 3, as the average lifespan on a CMOS battery is about 5 to 10 years, and consoles it's a little bit longer at about 15 to 20 years. But the PlayStation 3 came out in 2006, which means it is on borrowed time at this point. So if somebody replaces a CMOS battery and they don't have an active server to connect to resync the timing on their console, it's in essence useless. That, and also the PlayStation Vita, I have mentioned this several times in my previous videos. There were still active developers creating games for the Vita that had been in development for months or even years, and they found out that the store was going to be shut down when the public did. Sony did not send them any kind of heads up saying, hey, we're actually shutting down these servers. Please stop developing games for this platform. they found out when the public did. So it's like, oh, this game we've been working on for 2 years, guys, pull back. You know, we spent a lot of time, energy, money, resources building this game. It'll never be played because there's no store to host it on. So the fact that they're reverting that is good, considering there are still a lot of Vita players. Now, granted, a lot of people are picking up PS Vitas right now to jailbreak them because they're great emulation tools. You can play a whole library of Game Boy games, NES games, SNES games, Sega Genesis. And for some, you know, some people that are retro gamers like myself that are into emulation and even handheld on-the-go emulation, the Vita is a solid device. Not to mention, there are good PS Vita titles. Like, the Uncharted game was actually enjoyable. When I say Uncharted game, I mean the actual PS Vita handheld Uncharted game. It's pretty fun. I think they made 2 of them, actually. And then PlayStation 3, absolute banger of a console, and a lot of people still have them, especially because, since there is a lack of backward compatibility functionality, not only quality of backward compatibility, but quantity with their library, you actually need 2 specific consoles to have the entire PlayStation 1 through 5 experience. You need the original, big, black, glossy PS5. Let me share my screen here. This one right here. And then you need a PlayStation 5. The 5 can cover 4 and 5. And that PlayStation 3, which is the one that had backward compatibility, remember they did away with that on the later versions of the PS3, that can cover PlayStation 1 through 3. So if you care about literally being able to play PS2 disc games, PS1 disc games, digital games, then you need those 2 consoles sitting in your entertainment center, which isn't terrible. I mean, 2 consoles to play 5 generations isn't bad. Not as good as being able to have a $300 Series S that plays games all the way back to the original Xbox, and with boosted frame rates and additional support for trophies and HDR and a bunch of stuff like that, but it's still, they're heading in the right direction. The fact that they're leaving these servers up shows that they do care, and I don't care if they don't really care. What I do care about is the fact that these servers are actually staying online. Drop in the comment section below your guys' opinion on this whole debacle here. The only thing I will say is that I hope that these PS Vita game developers didn't delete all their files and stuff when they got the original news that the servers were shutting down, and that they can return to production of these games. Because, again, like I said, there are people that will still buy new Vita games. Not a lot, as the console is showing its age a little bit when there's things like the Switch out that is a better, more powerful handheld console. Not by much. That Tegra CPU generally strains to hold a consistent 30 at 1080p, but still, there's still people that play Vita. So, again, comment section, that's for you Stallions and Stallionettes to start up a forum, a conversation down there. I hop in there quite a bit. I'll just kind of peekaboo pop up to, you know, drop in my 2 cents. And if you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more people, so this information can reach them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. We're doing phenomenally over here, and I want to keep that momentum going. It's snowballing, and I want to make sure that everyone gets snowballed around here. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover a lot of news in the gaming community and industry, as well as tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.